And I think, again, you hit the nail on the head, and this is something that I do talk about, especially with the idea when someone's first getting started online, the first thing that you need to be focusing on, in fact, regardless of what business that you're doing, on or offline, needs to be cash flow. And that idea, you call it money tasks, but focusing on the cash flow, that comes first. Once you get that basis down where you know your overhead expenses are covered, you know you don't have to worry about paying for your rent or where that check's coming from, that's what sort of frees you up at that point to then move to that next level. But you really first need to focus on those money tasks and not getting caught up in, installing the latest piece of software or reading the latest sales letter that, you get pushed into your email box. So I think that was,
exactly.
Some amazing advice that came out there, the idea of the money tasks, the idea notebook, and having that master list as well, along with the making sure that you implement everything as you go as well. I thought they were some real key ones. Coming to sort of the tail end of the interview, Lynn, I was wanting to find out, because I know you'd say you're on the leading edge or the bleeding edge when it comes to different things as they're coming out, and the way I suppose you've positioned yourself to be in front of just new media as it's coming out. What do you see coming sort of down the pipe in 2010? Are there any new trends that you can see, or if there's anything that you think, holds in 2010?
Yeah, there are a couple of things that are kind of on the forefront of my radar right now. Number one, service-based business has become huge again. So anyone who has internet marketing skills, your skills are going to be highly valuable this year. So you have two choices. You can take on the tasks and let other people outsource to you, because outsourcing is just going to be just really seeing a tremendous growth spurt this year. So if you have any internet marketing skills, you can work virtually and make good money. The second is that the offline world, all of a sudden after 10 years or so, is now needing to get online again and do it seriously. Mm-hmm. And they need consultants to come out and tell them what to do, who to go to, how to do it, or to do it for them. And so there's a huge need for people with internet marketing skills to go out to these offline businesses and tell them some truth, because the very, very few sources that they have out there are really raking them over the coals. And, they're really, really charging them outrageous, ridiculous prices. So offline consulting and or outsourcing is going to be huge this year. So anyone who has any internet marketing skills, like I said, you're in a very valuable spot in 2010. The second thing that I think is huge this year is your social media reputation. Anyone that's kind of studied SEO knows about the link reputation.
Mm.
You have different qualities of links and things like that, but your overall link reputation for your site is something that Google looks at in their algorithm. And now that the major search engines have licensed the feeds from social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, now your social media reputation plays a part in not only in your search engine rankings, but overall in the online game. And so you don't want to be using automated programs. You don't want to be spamming social media sites or bookmarking sites. You want to have a really solid, strong social media reputation in 2010.
Yeah, I agree. And especially you can just see it right now. Google is obviously getting a little bit concerned at the idea that people are not using the search engines as much because they can go straight to their safe little social community. And I think Buzz, which only got launched a day or two ago, is a great example of Google trying to snatch at that and wanting you to plug those social media networks into their system. So without a doubt, they're going to be monitoring that. And I know in Socialnomics, Eric Quailman, I think he was the author, he talked a lot about the idea of customizing search and personalized search based on a lot of what your social group is doing, and I think we're going to see that come in for sure.
That's a phenomenal book, Socialnomics by Eric Qualman, and on Twitter it looks like Equalman, and definitely worth a follow. And the book, grab the book if you haven't read it already. It's excellent. I just got through giving away a couple of copies at an event because I'm such a big advocate for that book. It was a fabulous read, very eye-opening.
Yeah, I loved it, and I actually heard about it first when you were talking on Internet Marketing This Week. I think you were on that call when they interviewed Eric.
I sure was, yes. Yeah. I actually was the one, it was my pick of the week a few weeks before, and then, of course, Ed and Paul both had to grab a copy, and they loved it, so we got Eric on the show. That's internetmarketingthisweek.com, and very fun podcast.
Yeah, great.
And, we had him on the show, and it just was a fabulous hour.
Some of the other people that sort of you keep an eye on in the internet marketing world, are there any people that you see as thought leaders as far as online? Eric's obviously up there and probably the team over at Internet Marketing This Week. Are there any other people you like to keep an eye on?
Well, there are a lot, and I think it's going to be based on personal preferences. I actually get most of the emails or newsletters or updates from the major internet marketers, and I just filter them into a folder so that I can go in and just kind of check them out sometimes. I don't let that sidetrack me from my work, but I like to just kind of keep an eye on what's going on in the industry, kind of a thing, as a whole, and I do that via Twitter as well, just kind of monitor how things are going and what people are teaching or talking about and things like that. I don't have specific people that I follow. You come to like certain styles or certain people's styles after a while, and I love to read and follow Brian Clark at copyblogger.com, huge fan of Darren Rouse at problogger.com, and of course, work alongside Ed Dale and his 30-day challenge through the Internet Marketing This Week podcast. And but they're just, there are lots of great people to keep an eye on and keep on your radar and see what's going on. I could sit here and name names all night long. I think the most important thing, though, especially if you're doing niche marketing, is that you look at the experts in your market and follow them for examples and for JV opportunities and things like that. A lot of people make the mistake of getting so caught up in the internet marketing space that they forget their niche and they don't work their niche, and I think that's incredibly important. So if I'm out there, selling dart supplies, then I want to be reading the blogs of the top dart bloggers, and I want to be keeping up with Phil Taylor and what he's doing over in England and things like that. And I think it's incredibly important that people don't get caught up in the internet marketing space and buzz and hype and things like that, and more so that they focus on the experts in the niche that they're working within so that they can capitalize on all the great opportunities there.
If people sort of have listened to this interview and they find that they resonate with you and they're liking your style, if they want to find out more about you, they can head over to clicknews.com, and that's news with a Z, and there's the Internet Marketing This Week podcast, and there's also, you're on Twitter. Where are some places people can find you?
Well, those are the best places. Clicknews.com is, with a Z, like you said, is my blog. And from my blog, you can find my YouTube, my Facebook, my Twitter, my podcast, all the things that are going on. I do live webinars every week. I'm all over the web. So the most place to go is clicknews.com, and you can kind of find all those buttons there on the right at the top. I am /Lynn Terry, all one word. That's LYNNTERRY, everywhere. MySpace, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. It's /Lynn Terry. So you can find me pretty easily or Google me, and I would certainly welcome, comments and visitors. So if you do stop by Click News and you find something you like, leave a comment. You'll find it's a really great community. It's more of a community than it is just a blog. There's a really great group there that comments regularly and gets involved with each other.
Very cool. All right, Lynn, just like to wrap it up and thank you so much for your time. Very generous with your time, and I know I like to keep an eye on your blog, so if they keep an eye out, they'll probably see a comment or two from me over there. So thanks again for that, Lynn.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.